I'd like to welcome you all to our advanced tech training for today, the first one of 2026, and we'll be doing a iPad slash device check-in. So hopefully we all are on our Apple devices, so that way, again, whether you're on your iPhone or iPad, you can update and check in with your devices. I'm going to read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior Digital Inclusion Program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the info in any apps or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners and presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Keep your mics and TVs and cell phones in mind. Thank you so much. Besides that, make sure you take notes and or screenshots so you can review the information for later. But again, hopefully this will be on YouTube. So hello, YouTube. And that way you can review and rewind as much as you'd like. Also, let's make sure to check participants. So if you tap your screen, hit participants, make sure it says your name, me. I see we have a Zoom user, Motorola. Make sure you rename yourself so we know if you have a question, we know that we can call on you. So again, please rename yourself. Okay. Besides that, I'd love for everyone to check in on what device that they're using today. So let me know. You can unmute yourself if you're on your iPad or your iPhone.
Hi, this is Deborah Brown. I'm using my iPhone.
Okay, but do you have your iPad, Miss Deborah?
Yes, it's charging.
Okay, so I'd recommend you grab it during the session, okay?
Good
What
morning.
else is everyone using?
Good morning, Alex.
Hi, Miss Wanda.
Good morning, Els. I'm doing my iPad.
I'm
Hey,
doing my iPad, yeah.
Okay,
and I'm using my iPad.
okay, good.
Bertha using my iPad.
Uh-huh. Mostly iPads, I hear.
Good morning.
Good.
Good
I,
morning, Alex. I'm doing my iPhone.
Yeah, yeah. Miss Brenda, I know you've been on your phone for a while. What's you
I
have
have
your
to get
iPad
my
with you?
iPad fixed. It's got to be updated, and I got a thing stuck in the thing where the charger goes.
Well, yes.
I have to get that.
Have you gone to Apple yet?
I know.
That's what you got to do, okay? Just so you can make sure that it works the best that it can, okay?
Okay.
You got to go to Apple. There's one in Georgetown, there's one downtown.
Okay, that's what I want to do. I have to go there.
You got to if you want to use it, okay?
Okay. Okay, I'll go.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, mostly iPads. I got about two or three iPhones. What else are
Well,
folks
I'm
using?
not on an iPhone, but I'm on my Samsung phone.
Okay, so you're that's fine, Miss Torji. Okay, again, thank you so much for letting us know. You'll be
iPad.
using, uh-huh, yes. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
I'm on my iPad also.
I know you are, Mr. Thomas. I hope today's helpful for you.
Uh-huh.
I'm on my iPad also.
And you work it so well, Miss Louise.
Good.
Good, good, good. All right, again, just checking in on some things together. So give me one moment to get my checklist up, and I'll also be able to put this checklist for you in the chat. So make sure you keep checking out the chat in Zoom. So first up, okay, um, we're going to talk about cleanup, organization. So that way, again, you can make sure that your iPad is best used. Okay. So it is good to always, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, once every quarter, just to look through your iPad screen or phone screen, whether you're on your iPhone or even someone said they're on their Samsung or Android phone, that is perfectly fine. Just look through your apps. And if you haven't used one on your iPad in a while, and if you think that you may not use it for a while, then it may be a good idea to delete the app. There are different ways to kind of do this. Okay, but please follow along as I go through the motions and let me know if you have a question. But I see here, for example, that Christmas app. I'm probably not going to use that app for a while. So you can either, if you want to do other apps on the screen or other screens, you can hold your finger where there's an open space. Okay. Or you can just directly hold on the app that you want to edit. So again, if I hold my finger on this app, this Christmas app right here, if I hold it, okay, and again, always learning new things. This one, I'm happy that I can mention this now. Anytime you see a little cloud icon next to the name of the app, that means that is um offloaded. Okay, you'll
Hmm?
see what that means in a second. Okay, off in more layman's terms, but offloading means that the app size is not on your iPad. It just has the documents and data. So, um, yes, if you hold any app, so let's go to the next one, this Halloween app. I'm probably not going to have it for a while. If you hold the app, and again, this works on your Android device as well, you can see there are a few options that may come up. What it says may differ. Okay, even from, iPad to iPad. So it's just always good to read through with what it says. So on the latest upgrade to the operating system, this is what it says on the iPad. If I go onto my iPhone right here. Again, just kind of mimicking what happens. If I hold an app, I get very similar options that come up, but it's in a different order on my phone. So even though, again, they're both Apple devices, what you see may differ depending on what device you're on. So if you want to delete it, you simply hit remove app, but there are also some other ones too. And then you can then hit remove from home screen. That's just basically deleting the icon. But if you see in red, it says delete app. That's how you can delete the app. So just in most simply, that is how you delete an app that you see on your home screen. Again, I have several different screens of apps. Again, the way that you lay out your device is there's no wrong way. So again, if I go to see an app that I may not use, you can simply delete it by using that function. So has anyone just now deleted an app that they may not have used in a while or will use and or will use in a while? Did you learn that today? Have you deleted an app before in this manner?
Yeah.
Okay, again, you can either hold the app itself or you can hold an open space. That way all you see all the apps start to shake. You all see the difference? Again, if you hold an app itself, you get the menu for that particular app. If you hold an open space on the screen, so again, I'm an iPad right here. Again, you see here at the bottom right, there's no icon or even on either side, there's no apps that are there. If you hold the screen, you will get in a second or two, you'll get the apps to start to shake. Once you have them shaking, you can move them too. So I don't have to have this solitaire game we've been playing right here. I can move it to this part of the screen.
Oh, you mean move them around? Okay.
Yeah. So you can also just move them around. So that way, again, you can just organize things in a way. So this is like my first screen that I come on. So maybe I don't want FaceTime on that side. Maybe I want it on this side. So you can do that as well. Again, these are things that we've covered in the past on videos. So this is like a home screen management section. So make sure again you check out our YouTube for our other videos. Again, any comments? Have you moved apps around using this navigation? Have you moved apps around? Again, any thoughts?
Yeah,
Not
I'm
recently.
done.
Again, you may want to group them in different sections, or the great thing is you can before in the earlier upgrades or operating systems, you can only have it looking like this in one row, then the next row. But instead, look at that. I can move this app over here. I can move this app over here, over here. So you can make it into any pattern that you want. So this is pretty cool to make it look like this. It's up to you. Um, So yes, you can move apps very freely. You can also move apps from one screen to another. How do you do that? You hold the icon, and again, this works on Android devices too. You can hold the icon and then just simply drag it to where you want it to go. So I can move it to the left. Again, I'm not letting go, or I can put it on the right, two screens on my right, or I can even make a brand new screen. So you see if I drag it to the very right, the last one, there's no icons. I just made a brand new screen. You see, you can have as many screens as you want. um, I just have it like this so you can see that it's possible for me on my phone right here. So again, looking at my video, I have just two, or I have three screens of apps on my phone. So it's just how you would like to do it. There's again no right or wrong way. So who has moved apps from one screen to another? Or
Mm,
did you learn that today?
I'm learning today. I learned today.
Again, if I wanted this app on this screen, I just hold it and drag it to the screen I want to put it at. Okay. You can also do a reaction and do a thumbs up, or if you got it, or you good, or cool, use those reactions too. I can see that during the call. Um, all right. Yes, yes. Just please share. Again, any thoughts or any questions, just please interrupt me and share. If you would like to group items into a folder, because yes, maybe having a full screen of apps is a little overwhelming. It can be. So if you wanted to have, just like here on my phone here, I have lots of folders. So that way I just have one or two screens. Yeah, I see the reactions. I love it. Let's say I wanted to, instead of have this, let me say I want to put the games together. So you can just look at two apps that you want to be put in the same folder. So look at my solitaire game and this happy color game. So what I can do is I can simply hold the app, one of the apps, doesn't matter which one, and basically put it on the other app. And that's how you make a folder. You can also get rid of the folder by simply just moving all the apps out of, or the folder. So that way it's just one app. You see, I can hold the app and drag it. Again, you can still have the menu come up and just move your finger a bit more to drag it, and then you can make a folder. It automatically names the folder for you, but you can go into the folder and you see it says games. Maybe I can put favorite games or calm games, right? There are all different kinds of games, right? So you can organize your games like that. I simply have all of my games on my phone in one, but if you wanted to organize all of your coloring games and your cool games and your action games, and I don't know, maybe the games that you got to play it once a day for that little bonus in the beginning, right? That you get. So yes, you can do folders. You can use, there you go. There's another game. There's the five differences. We played. That one's really fun. I can put streaming services in a folder. So I have my PBS Kids app, my Tubi app, my Pluto TV app. And look, sometimes it doesn't name it for you. It's just named folder. So again, I go into the folder and then I can delete what it says. And maybe this is a free stream. I'll just write free stream because these are free streaming services. Once you type it in, all you got to do is just go out of the folder and tap the screen once again. The apps stop to shake, and then there. So that's how you can create folders. Again,
Um,
on my phone here, I just really have one or two screens, and most of them are folders with different apps. I have a Bills app folder. I have a social media folder. But there are some apps that are very important that you just may want on the screen. So
and Alice, how did you rename that folder? What did you do to
yeah,
rename it?
so again, when you create the folder, that's when you can rename it. So let's say I hold the screen so that way the app starts to shake, and then I can drag the Apple Health app to the WebMD app. I can make the folder, and once you go into the folder, again, the apps are still shaking, you're still editing. You see at the top, that's the title. All you simply have to do is tap on it, hit the X or hit the delete on the keyboard. Doesn't matter which one. And then you can then rename it. So I would rename this health or health apps or however that you would like. So that's how you can rename it initially. But if you just want to rename it after you create the folder, just hold the screen, go to the folder, and you do the same thing because that's how when the apps are shaking, you're in edit mode. You can edit where the apps are and what the folders are named. Does that help out?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome, great question. Yes, yes, yes. So anyone who has created folders on their device, and you can share yes, or you can do a thumbs up in the reactions. Either one
Um,
works out for me.
hey Alex, on
Mhm.
one of my screens, it automatically broke, divides things up for me.
Are you talking about the app library, Denise?
I guess.
So
I don't know, but I know
are you
uh,
talking about when you go all the way to the right and you get this screen? Is that what you're saying, or is it
yeah,
something?
that
Yeah, so you see at the top in the middle, it says app library. That's why I say that
okay,
it's the app. This is the app library. So this shows you
mm-hmm.
all of your apps in, folders that you didn't make. So sometimes it can be really convenient to find an app in this way. So
Yeah,
sometimes people have trouble looking through their screens, and that, I do too. Sometimes it's like, where is it at? So
yeah,
there are many ways to search, but one of them is to look at the app library using this search bar. And let's say you're looking for Zoom. I can tap, hit ZOO, and then it's right there, Zoom. Or you can
mm-hmm.
look through the folders. Oh, I want FaceTime. That's in the social. It's right there. Very easy to find. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
want YouTube. Okay, that's entertainment. Wonderful. So, yes, that is
Right,
you can swipe all the way to the right and open the app library.
mm-hmm.
Who learned that today? Or who's gonna check or and check it out? Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Anyone else utilizes the app library sometimes?
I do.
Okay, yes. All right. Well, two more quick tips. So when you're on any screen, okay, when you're on any screen, okay, you can do something called a spotlight search. Again, you can basically kind of search for anything, and you'll see a ton of results just depending on what you want to do. How do you do the spotlight search? You simply just swipe, not from the top, okay? When you swipe from the top to the bottom, that's how you do the notifications. Y'all do your notifications, right? You see them when you first hit your home button or power button and you see your different notifications for your apps, but that's how you can open it on your device. Again, from the top and you swipe down. If you're on your iPhone, you can also do it from the top to the bottom. Okay, top to the bottom. If you have a newer iPhone, it's the top left corner because on the top right corner, that's how you have the control center. Okay, but on the iPad, what we're trying to do is swipe from the kind of the middle of the screen, the very middle, right? And just swipe down just a little bit. Have you all seen this before or used this before? This is the spotlight search.
Yeah.
Does this look familiar or is this something new?
Yeah,
Something new.
yeah, I seen it.
So this is the spotlight search. Again, this is, especially with Apple, they're trying to make all their devices kind of similar, which is good. That we can learn one thing. When you do the spotlight search, you can basically search for anything. Let's say I was searching for Zoom. I type in Zoom, there's the app. Okay. But you can also
Mm-hmm.
type in any kind of name. So let's say let me write New York Times. So that's the New York Times Games app that shows you top hit, the most common thing that you do. But if you swipe up on the results, look at all that. There are several other options that comes up. So anything from suggestions. So look, you see the little Safari icon next to NYT where it says
Mm-hmm.
suggestions. That means if I tap on it, it'll take me straight to Safari where then I can then it'll then and search it for me. So that makes it really convenient. I don't even have to go to Safari to then try to search for something. You can just do the spotlight and kind of do that shortcut. But also, look, and it saves the result. You see, I went to Safari, now I went back, and now I'm still here. If again, you can close the keyboard by hitting the bottom right key and looking through. Look at the websites. They suggest websites for you, which is cool. Settings. So what are the settings for the NYT Games app that we have? You can, if I tap on it, I can go into those settings immediately. Photos. Um, you know, technology is so smart. Like it recognizes probably where it has the NYT Games logo. So that's why you may see those photos, which is pretty cool. So you can even search for a photo using a word. That's pretty neat, right? Mail, any similar emails. I get a lot of emails, so this one tends to be a little such and such. But and then at the very bottom, that is also very cool. You can search the app store. So that way, if you want to search for an app, again, you don't have to go to the app store. And particularly if you want to, that's fine too. But you can search it here in the spotlight and then hit search app store, and that will search the app for you and other similar apps for you in the app store. But let's say I type in again, when you're on any screen, it doesn't matter which one that you're on. Doesn't matter what screen you're on. You can just swipe your finger down in the middle, just flick it like this. Literally, that's all I do. If you see my video, just flick it down, and then you can type in anything you want. So even I usually use Miss Serena Williams. But look at that
Tell
top
her.
hit. Look at that top hit. If I tap on it, look at that. It gives me information, a website, the movies she's in, the TV shows, the news, some facts about her social media, images. You know, YouTube it up, links, so you can go to her official website, other related people, websites. Oh, look, email. That's pretty cool. Anytime she's been mentioned in my mail app. So these emails right here and related searches. So you can use the Spotlight search for many things. So I want everyone to test this out, and I hope it's very helpful in many parts of your life. Again, that's the Spotlight search. Okay. Last but not least, the area at the bottom, does anyone know what that's called? With all the apps at the very bottom of the screen, no matter what screen I'm on, you can see it at the bottom. Does anyone know what that's called?
Okay.
Does anyone know what that's called at the very bottom of the screen? And you can unmute
The
yourself and
toolbar.
well, it is a toolbar, but it's a special name for this one, Miss Helen. So what's this at the bottom called? These apps that don't change no matter what screen I'm on.
I don't know.
It starts
Is
with the
it
letter
home?
D.
Oh, letter. Oh, you give me a hint. 'Cause I thought it was your home. It's like your home screen.
Well, this
And I
is the home screen, but
say at the
I'm
bottom.
talking
Yeah.
about the list of apps at the very bottom.
Hmm. Oh,
Duh.
What? Yes, that is
Duh.
called dock. Good job. That was you, Miss Dina?
God.
Yes.
I know that's right. You did
Hmm.
it. Because this
Yeah.
area docks all the apps for you. So you can edit it. Um, so just going over the very bottom right, this shows you your app library. So you don't have to swipe all the way to the right just to get to your app library. You can tap the icon at the very bottom right of your screen and you will go to it immediately. Uh, on the iPhone, you got to swipe all the way to the right. Okay. Because there's no there's no area for that at the bottom, but maybe it is, but I haven't seen that button on iPhone, but it is here on the iPad. So yeah, so I hope you learned that today. Use the on your iPad, you hit the very bottom right icon. That's how you get to your app library.
And you said it's called Docs?
No, no,
That
no.
le-
DOCK.
okay, DOCK.
Sorry. So that's the area where all the
Uh-huh.
apps are at
Got
the bottom. This list is called the dock because it
okay.
docks all of
Oh.
presumably the most important apps.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But thank you for that. The last icon again is the app library. The last three apps after that are your most recently used apps. So we were just in settings, right? That's why settings was there. We were just in the app store. That's why the app store is there. If I go to Duolingo, it will probably pop up at the bottom right.
What's that?
Yeah,
I've
for
been
your most
learning.
recently used apps. So again, you're after the app library at the bottom right, the next three apps are your most recent, recently used and most popular apps. So that's just convenience, okay? After that little white line, you see I have, Zoom tips, I have slides, my Duolingo app, my notes, YouTube, photos, calendar, Safari, mail, music, messages. Again, this area at the bottom does not change no matter what screen you're on. So if you have a very important app that you may use like all the time, it would be good to have it in your dock. So you can add things in your dock and you can remove things from the dock. You can hold the screen like you did before. Okay, you get the apps to start to shake. But look, the apps on the dock start to shake too. So look, I can move Zoom out. I can move my tips out. I can move my Duolingo icon out of my dock. I can move my slides app if I want to, my notes, whatever. You all see what's going on, right? And then you see it makes the a dock a little bit bigger at the bottom. And it's, you can edit it, but I want my Duolingo, back there. So I hold the app and drag it back. And you can add any apps. Again, let's say here's Netflix in a folder by itself. Let me put that there because I may watch Netflix all the time or a lot. So I want that in my dock area. So, um, was that something new that you learned today, or are you going to
Yeah.
check it out?
Yes. Yes. Something new.
Mm-hmm. Again, we
Something
got
new.
about 20 folks on, so I just
Yes.
want to,
Yes.
see those reactions too, y'all, okay? Is there something new that you learned? Are you going to move some apps in or out of your dock for convenience?
It's
Yes.
good for me.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. Yes, again, I see the thumbs up. Again, thank you all so much for your participation. So that's a little bit of, just some management, cleanup, organization. Okay, and I hope that was helpful. All right. If you have any questions, please interrupt me about this, about anything else we talk about today. So I hope you're, in the new year, and I need to do this myself, a little bit more organized, or you feel a little bit more organized, more knowing that you can navigate and move things around to your liking. So thank you all so much. Let's see. Going on to our next section is kind of like updates and settings. So this is pretty simple, but very important. So I always talk about this. It's really important to make sure that you check your storage space. And we're going to talk about some of these things in module one today, but when you go into settings, again, this gray icon, that's usually on your first screen, okay? The settings, gray icon, very, 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 very important app, okay? So let's make sure you're in settings. What I noticed on my settings icon, and you'll see on other apps, what do you see on that settings app? What do you see that's different?
Where we at?
So look
Yeah,
at
and
my
number
settings
one.
icon. What do you see?
And number one. No.
Yes. And you see there are
Right.
those numbers on other apps as well, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Uh-huh. So what is that called? What have we called those? What is that number called?
Notification. No.
Where are you?
It can be. It's a kind of a specific word, but anyone
Mess.
know what those little red numbers mean on an app?
You got a message?
And yeah, I heard notifications. Again, that's close. It's another word for it, but it's not a notification per se, but it is.
I know when I get
You got a
mine out,
message? A label.
I know
Okay.
when I get mine to be letting me know that I gotta
You need to check
pay
something
for
out.
a bill I have
Need to
through
be
the Apple.
updated. It's on which one you talking about? Need to be updated.
Yeah,
I
everything
have
that you're saying, you guys are how do I say? You guys are not wrong, but and you guys, what are you saying is all correct, and it all encompasses that. But just simply the name of that little red number,
Label.
Yes, it's kind of a label, but we're gonna, we're a little more tech with it. Those are badges, okay? Remember
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
remember saying that? Those are badges.
That
So
Mm-hmm.
that just means, yes, you may have to do something in that app. And what it
Oh,
means depends on the app, okay? So settings,
Mm-hmm.
I see that little red number one. Oh, I may have to do something in the settings app just to make sure everything's updated. Okay, reminders, I see of the number 28. That may mean I have 28 reminders I may have to check out. Um, YouTube at the bottom, 459. I have 459 notifications that I may need to check out. Yes, I subscribe to quite a few channels, get updates from a few channels. That's why the number's pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, mail app, 4,102. That means in my primary emails, I have about 4,000 unread emails.
really?
So depending on the app, it just may mean the badge may mean something a little different. But yes, there are notifications. They let you know that you may need to do something in the app, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to, but it's good to know. Like Disney Solitaire one. Okay, I know I have to get a little daily in-game reward for checking in. So that's what that probably means. The more that you use your iPad, the more that you kind of notice again what those things mean, or if you may need to check it out.
Now, Alice, I like to know, like, in the app you just talking about when you get the message that, like in your emails, how can I clear it all at one time instead of going through each one?
Okay, I'm a guide you or direct you to when we go over module three in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
There are several different ways that you could go about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we in module three, we've definitely went over that edit function in
Yeah.
the inbox, and then you can select multiple emails to delete at once. So I would
Mm-hmm.
go to the mailbox, find that inbox that you want to remove emails from, and then hit that edit button, and then see how you can go from there with the toolbar at the bottom that comes up. Okay.
Yeah, because you had so many, you don't feel like
Well,
going through
emails
every
they
one of
don't take up
them.
very much space at all. Especially if you don't have a lot of attachments in those emails. But again, everyone is a bit different, so I'm going to go into that in just. Um,
Can I ask a question?
yes, I do see Ms. Deborah, you raised your
Oh,
hand. So
oh.
I'll have you first, Ms. Deborah, and then Ms. Torji.
I forgot the question. Go on.
Okay. All right, Ms. Torji, what you
I
got?
just, I don't, Write it down, Miss Barnes. Write it down.
Ms. Torji, what you got?
Badges. Okay. I know. Okay. So
You
I
see
do.
the red
I
numbers that are
wait a
on
minute.
some of the
Yeah, I
icons?
saw it because I do Duolingo, and I had 3 badges. Okay, and I know because I get badges when I finish. My question was going to be: is after is there some way that you can erase those numbers, or when you go in and does it those numbers leave the badge, those little numbers on the icons? Will they leave if you erase stuff, or what, or do they stay there all the time?
I wouldn't think too much about it, Ms. Torji. I mean, sometimes it is just a number, but yes, if you go into a game and you
They'll
get a
erase.
notification, it'll go away. You see, some of the apps don't have a number on them, so
Yeah, yeah.
it
Okay, I just
may
didn't know
not
if it
mean.
stayed or you could erase it. That's all.
Yeah, it just may not mean, even if there's no number, it may still mean that there's stuff in the app you may need to check out. So
Mhm.
it's just it's good. When the more that you use your iPad, the more you'll just see, oh, it is, it's right there.
But if you
Or
go in there, the numbers will erase.
It, yeah, it just
But
depends
okay.
on the things that you're doing. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
mhm. Okay. So, but yes, those are what the badges are to let you know that there's maybe something in the app that you want to check out.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so going to settings, it's so important. Again, I see here the red number one. It won't work like this in all apps, but I see it's right there here. Yes, I gotta update my iPad. So it's just again the badges, these notifications, they're so important to take a look at, so that way you can make sure everything is good. We're gonna go into general because and hit iPad storage. Okay, so it's very, very useful to check out this section so you can see how much storage that you have. The golden rule is to kind of have about, again, I have a ninth generation iPad, that's why I say this. as well. It's but also any device, it's good to leave about 10 gigabytes of storage, 10 to 15 gigabytes of storage on your iPad, just so it can kind of run smoothly. But when you get a new update or especially upgrade to your device, the system has to have enough storage for it to be able to download and install properly. So I'm at 52 out of 64. It's kind of cutting it close, so I kind of need to look through a couple things myself. But you'll see all the apps that you're using and there's storage that it uses. So by default, it's by size. You'll see in blue it says size and the little arrow. I can also look at it by name, or I can look at it by the last time that I used the app. So you can look at it in different manners if you would like. Again, this feature is iPhone and kind of iPad specific, but if you're on an Android device, you'll also have your storage feature in your settings. Okay, it just may be in a different location, so just make sure you look at your screen and see what it says. Um, I see here, yes, my mail. I have quite a few email accounts. Again, everyone's email is gonna or everyone's storage is gonna look different, even if someone has the same exact apps as you, depending on what you get or what you do in the apps may diff make the app size differ. So it's always good to check it out. Okay, so again, my mail, it kind of takes up quite a bit of storage, about 10 gigabytes. My photos, I have a ton of photos that I probably need to go through. That I have almost 3 gigabytes. My slides app, yes, I have a lot of data in that app, so that's why it's almost there. But all my other apps are less than a gigabyte of storage. Again, 1000 megabytes is a gigabyte, so that's why Zoom 964. It's almost a gigabyte in size, but not quite yet. So that's what this GB and the MBs mean. Again, I highly recommend you go on Google, research, check, if you see something, just quickly use that spotlight or go to Google and type that thing in so you can, fully know what it means, right?
Now, now,
Um,
Alice,
okay.
suppose when you're using, excuse me, when your storage is, when it say updating, it say your storage is over. So when you go ahead and look, and if I see the biggest storage, maybe I want to remove. If I take it out and then I go back like to update, now I can update because I took out most of the biggest storage I'm using. Can I go back and put it in after I update?
Well, you're just asking if you can re-download an app after you delete it. Sure, you can go to the App Store and re-download it. But
And
again, you have to be, just careful with what you delete. So again, I
I
wouldn't maybe,
know,
do
yeah.
mail. I wouldn't mess with mail because it's,
Mm-hmm.
and like from here in of itself, this is just looking at different apps, right? So
Right.
for me, like, most of my apps are pretty small. It's, the things that are gonna take up the most storage are just the things that have the kind of have a
Uh,
lot attached, but everyone's device is going to be different. So no matter what, I recommend that you just, keep those photos in mind, keep, the kind of the high storage apps in mind, and just
so if you bring the app back, is it still gonna have that same amount of storage? Or
every app is going to be different, Denise. So it just depends on what. If you just delete a random game, then when you do it, there's no, not noticeable difference, but it just depends again what you did in that particular app. So one of my apps that I used to have on here, it was a small app, but because I had a lot of files in it or a lot of things in it, it took up quite a bit of storage. So
Mhm.
again, it just
mm,
depends on what app you're talking about or thinking about, deleting, but I would just be kind of cautious on what you delete because yes, if you uh, let's say you delete the Zoom app. I wouldn't recommend, but unless you have to. But delete the Zoom app when you re-download it. You got to sign in again. You got to,
mm-hmm.
some things, do, some things, not all. It depends on what's in iCloud, but Zoom won't store those backgrounds when you delete the app. When you re-download it on that same device, you'll have to add those backgrounds back in. So, it's just kind of
And most of the time too, Alice, when you already download the app, it'll tell you how much store it is. Like a game, It might say it's
Sure, when you go
400.
to the App Store, it'll tell you, yes, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
it'll tell you how many gigabytes of storage that'll use. So
And then
the
you'll try
more,
to, uh-huh.
yeah, the more, the more things are in the game, the higher storage that it will use.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Yeah,
So it's
that,
always good to check out the storage and just have about 10 to 15 gigabytes of free storage available for the next upgrades that happen every year or then updates that happen about once every month or 2 months. So everyone
mm,
checked out their storage for the new year. Again,
Yeah.
Yes.
well, are you going to check it out as a result of today?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Check
Yes.
mine.
yeah,
Again,
I
you can
usually
Yeah,
send
I'm
look
gonna
at
check
it.
yes, you
out
can
mine.
do reaction. Again, this is, you're checking, y'all. Again, it's great to start your new year off right. So
Okay.
So
What is
now,
that right there, Alice? That Apple Pencil. What is that? I know what an Apple Pencil is, but you can use this one.
there's 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 an actual Apple Pencil. Those are the settings for that if you have one.
Oh, you gotta have one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
see
Mhm.
in the settings, which one over here to the left talks about your server, your internet server?
Yes, again, if you're on an Apple device, this is your menu bar. So again, looking through, you see it says Wi-Fi. So
Uh-huh.
that's where, that's probably where you're talking about. So
Yeah, I
make
have a
sure you're
problem with my
connected to,
iPad. I
huh?
have a problem with my iPad that it I guess I have to come on at 1:30 because mine's is like it. I called the help desk and she said it was an administrative issue. And I remember way, way, way back in the fall that there
Well,
was
yeah,
change.
it's been a while since we've had one, so I'm just thinking you probably called a few months ago. But I mean, when you go to Wi-Fi, again, it either has your Wi-Fi network or it says not connected. When you tap on it, you'll be able to see your network and then type in your Wi-Fi password if you're not connected to it.
Well, it says AT&T, and that's not what I use. I mean, when I'm in the house,
Well,
I
it
can.
shouldn't say it shouldn't say AT&T, Miss Deborah. Did you hit Wi-Fi on the left-hand side?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you should see all the different networks that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct, and it has my FiOS one, and that's the one that I'm using. But I
Okay.
keep getting notices from AT&T. Well, I was getting notices from AT&T telling me to update, to update, to
Oh,
update.
I'm not. Well, AT&T that's your cell provider. So unless you get your Wi-Fi from AT&T, and
I don't.
I don't think they do that.
Well, that's why I said she said she couldn't help me. She said it was an administrative problem.
So if I would, so do you have the check mark next to the name of your Wi-Fi in Wi-Fi? I'm
Yes,
connected to my so I mean that means you should be connected on the internet. You can go to Safari, do other things on your iPad, correct?
I can do everything on my iPad, but she said it was something along
Well, if
on
you
this.
can access, I'm saying that there's it doesn't sound like there's an issue, Miss Deborah. So if you're
Okay, well,
connected to the
I
internet,
have to
if
show
you're
you by
connected to the
sharing my
internet
screen.
and can go to Safari on your device and
Yeah,
send a
okay.
message and do a FaceTime, then you're connected to the internet.
Yeah, I know. I'm connected to the internet. Okay. I I'd have to show you by sharing my screen what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay,
What,
well,
Miss Deborah, what do you want it to say? You want it to say
Well, she said that
infinity or
I can't go in and work on certain things like my calendar.
I'm not sure where you're
oh,
I'm not sure that's the same Ms. Deborah, I'm
That's
not
what I
saying
said.
don't
I'm just telling
overthink it,
you.
Ms. Deborah. I'm just saying if you're
Okay.
connected to the internet on your device, you can do all the things that were, that you
That
can,
you're
go
talking about,
engage
I
on
should
the
be able
internet,
to do.
do
Okay.
FaceTime. So I'm
Okay.
not it sounds like there's no issue. So we'll see.
Okay.
But to me, it sounds like you're good in that respect. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying,
Okay.
Ms. Deb?
I have a question, Alex.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh, when someone sends you maybe a lot of pictures and videos, uh, does that impact your storage, or should you delete them if once you read them, or if you read them at all?
Well, again, when you say send, what do you mean? Send it by email, send it by
By email,
message?
by email,
Well,
or
just so I kind of know where you were thinking from. But again, it all depends on the video, the picture, it's really up to you. Again, I don't particularly delete them or anything, or not. When you get an attachment in email, it's not like you can delete the attachment. You gotta delete the whole email itself to get rid of that attachment. But I wouldn't I wouldn't be worried about that, Miss Savon.
I mean, but doesn't that show up in your storage? Doesn't it take up
Well, I
storage
mean,
space?
one photo or a few photos, or
Oh, I
unless
meant
they're like,
a big video, a big,
well, is it like
large.
if it's like a 30-minute video, then I mean, that won't even most likely won't even be able to be sent by email because emails have attachment size limits. So I particularly wouldn't be worried. I just want you'll see it. I mean, it again, if I go into my mail here, yes, I have quite, some of the accounts I have are like years and years and years
Mhm.
old. So I do have quite a bit, mostly photos. Like these documents neither like the actual emails itself, but photos and stuff. But I would say that it's very, very, I wouldn't let one or two few videos even kind of affect it. So I wouldn't be worried about storage size from that. I would be worried about storage size from the actual apps that you find in your iPad storage. So again, it's just all about going to settings in general and then hitting iPad storage and seeing what it says on your device on what's using the most storage.
Some more about
Does that make sense, Yvonne?
Because on your
Yes.
I'm
photos,
just saying,
Alex,
I'm just saying, I don't want to worry, about, not those things because I want to enjoy my iPad and its usages. So I would
that
say,
Yeah, well,
look at this.
over the holidays, you get a lot of pictures and videos of people celebrating and
Um, well, those pictures, like most pictures are like one megabyte, like
oh,
two,
okay.
right,
three, like they're very tiny. Like these apps,
yeah, because see,
apps are apps.
Alex,
Like, you just kind of have
Yvonne,
to think of the relative size of different things. A photo is going to be pretty. Videos, they certainly can be very large, but if it's being sent through like emails, then they could be pretty small. And videos, even large videos sent through the Messages app, yes, sometimes, depending on how big it is, it may
and,
not even be able to be sent through there. So
and
I would
see,
just say
Yvonne,
I would say look at the apps, okay?
Yes,
Yvonne,
yes,
Okay.
Yvonne,
And then
see how Alex gigabyte on his photos is small.
and I have
I
a
See,
lot.
see.
I have
Wow,
it's
very
only
lots.
small.
two
Yeah.
Yes,
hundred
very
eighty
small.
So
two.
no, 2.82
Yeah,
gigabytes.
2.8 gig.
Yes, yes,
And
right.
that's,
And I have a
uh-huh.
lot of I don't have many videos, okay, but I have a ton and a ton of photos. So that's why I'm saying you gotta use your iPad. Take those pictures and videos. You can the iPad and
That's,
devices can handle a lot. So
Yes, okay. Thank you, Denise. I see what you're
uh-huh.
saying.
Yeah,
Thanks,
because
Alex.
so
normally
just
it,
thinks the relative size, okay? Apps are gonna be and things like that are gonna be much bigger than like photos and little files, little documents, just but they do add up. So by the end of the day, just go to iPad storage, see what it says. Miss Louise, thank you. We're at time, but I'll get your hand. And hopefully we can continue with this. This has been a lot of fun and hopefully
I
help.
just want to ask a quick question
Mhm.
about if you can take off those photos on a thumb drive.
I'm sure you can. I've never done that from the iPad to that before. Um, and is there a reason why you want to, Louise?
Because they
Maybe
have
help me
there's
with thinking.
so many pictures that I get from family members, and I just think they take up all your space.
Well, that's kind of the thing that Yvonne was talking about, and I was saying kind of don't worry about it because a lot of, are you getting are you getting 1,000 pictures for the holidays? That's just, like, no, right? I mean, we're not getting 1,000. Even with that, that is not a lot of storage. Okay. Again, you can
Okay,
look at the storage that's on your iPad through
right. Mhm.
general or settings general iPad storage. But when you get them, whether it's in a message, from the messages app or the email, if you get them in an email, you can hold that image, photo, videos, whatever, and then you'll see that save option. And that way you can save it to your Photos app if you want to,
Yeah.
save it to your Photos app to easily access later versus finding that email and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yes, again, photos and most videos are not going to take up that much storage.
Okay.
So no, receive as much as you want as, of those, or So thank you so much for that question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miss Deborah. I said Miss Louise, but
Thank
last
you.
one for
Okay. Okay.
today.
The calendar. The Google Calendar on the phone, should it match the Google Calendar on your iPad? Because they're both Google.
Okay. Do you have the Google Calendar app on your iPad, Miss Deborah?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, so you have the Google Calendar app on your phone and your tablet. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just because you're not talking about the Apple calendar on the iPad. Is that right?
I thought it was the Google. I mean,
Are
it
you
looks
talking
the
about
same.
when you on your iPad when you hit the icon that says the day of the week and the number?
Right.
So if you look at my screen, it says Wednesday the 7th.
Let me see that.
Do you see that, Ms. Deborah? At the bottom, it says Wednesday the 7th, that icon.
Yes.
That's the Apple Calendar app. Is that the one that you tap on
Uh,
your iPad?
yes. So it's a
Yes,
different
that's
calendar.
Apple's calendar app. So no, if
Uh,
you're I use both on my phone. I have the Apple Calendar app that I use, but I also have my Google Calendar app that I use for work on my phone here, but I use both. So, no,
so I just
Apple
get
Calendar,
the app.
Google Calendar, unless you have added the Google Calendar to your Apple Calendar, they will be different because again, the Apple
Okay.
Calendar is related to the Apple account on your iPad, and your Google Calendar on your phone, again, is related to the Google account that you're signed in on your Google Calendar app.
Thank you. That makes sense. That answered the question.
My pleasure. I'm so happy. All right. All right. Any last quick questions for today? But what I always say last thing, make sure you update your devices, okay? It handles a lot of issues or challenges. Make sure you update your device. You hit general, you hit software update. If it says up to date, you're good to go. If it says you gotta install or download, yes, myself, I got to remove some things from my iPad so I can download this update, but 26.2. Make sure if you're on your ninth generation iPad or higher, make sure you update your device, okay, to the latest system. But any questions for today? Like I said, let me put this in the chat, this check-in list. So for some of the other things, give me a minute. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to put this in the chat. But any other questions? Any other questions or comments? And what did you learn today? Again, we went over cleaning up and organization. We learned about grouping apps together, deleting them, using the dock, what badges are, settings. We talked about storage, a little bit about updating, and some other miscellaneous questions you guys asked, which were amazing. Thank you so much. And I hope I was able to help folks out at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my question was the same as Deborah's. Should the calendars match? So thank you for answering that.
Yes, it just depends on what app you're using. There's the Apple Calendar app, Google Calendar app. There's other apps too, for calendars. It's a very popular thing. So, thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? What did you learn today? What are you going to do after we get off before our 12 o'clock session? Again, I want to see everyone on our 12 o'clock for our culinary journey session. Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to say, Alex, I was able to get on my iPad, so I'm on that.
Okay, well, I know that's right, Miss Torji, and I hope you use it to join our 12
Definitely.
o'clock today.
Okay. And one other question, you said to do updates, it usually will come on your iPad to let you know that there's an update, or is there some place I need to go to find out if I need to update?
Yes, yes. So if you go to settings, again, you can look at
Mhm.
my screen and follow along or do it after the class. You go to
Yeah.
settings and then you go to general. So this is where we talked about
Okay, I got
yeah, that's where we talked about iPad storage. Shows right above it.
got you.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
see the general.
Uh-huh. I did put the PDF in the chat. Make sure you tap it, and then you can save it to your Files app. So this is kind of like a New Year check-in list for those. So I hope that's helpful as well.
Alex,
Um, Hi, Miss Dina. How are you?
hi. Well, how are you? Happy
Good.
New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I have a little problem with my phone.
Okay, you have
Not
an iPhone or an Android, Miss Dina?
Android.
Okay.
Uh, to put it this way, like when I take pictures on
Okay.
my phone,
Mm-hmm.
you might have one picture at a time. My phone is gathering maybe 5 or 6 pictures at a time.
At a time. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I called the phone company this morning and asked them why was it doing that. And even some of my pages are just deleting.
Wow.
So they
When
told
you
me,
you're talking about
it's
your photos, right? Not your pages, but your photos. Is that right?
photos with messages on them. The
I'm not.
entire
What you mean
page
for?
is
So
missing.
what do you mean messages? Because you say you use your phone to take pictures.
Well, if you have the pictures under it, might say this is so and so, your nephew's daughter or something like that. That will with the pictures and the messages, the entire pages are erasing. You just be blank.
Okay. So here's when you the first thing that you said, so I just had thought of something. When you take a photo, and this works on Apple devices too. When you take a photo, it's important when you hit that shutter button, so that probably that white button or that button you use to take the photo, just make sure if you want to take one photo, you just tap it once. Okay, because if you hold that shutter button, that means you're going to be taking multiple photos at at once. And that's sounding like something that you may not want to do. For me, I don't want to give you a wrong answer, but I haven't been familiar with mobile Android devices. So what I will say is you could try to, see Cyber Senior, see what they could say. But when you take a photo, I would just say be very careful with how you take the photo. And if you're saying it's deleted, I'm not 100% sure. I would go into the Photos app on your Android device and just try to locate them. Make sure you're like in the recents or all the photos so you can see every single photo that you have in your Photos app. But I would also just check your storage on your phone as well. I'm not sure if that's the challenge, but make sure that you have enough space on your phones. That way it doesn't do that because photos just shouldn't delete by themselves. As far as the description under a photo, I know that there's like that accessibility feature here on Apple devices. So I'm just not 100% sure of the context. I would just kind of have to see it to kind of.
Well, I mean, the entire page is deleting on some
What do you
of
mean
my,
page? I'm not sure what you mean by page, Miss Dina.
the entire page with messages and the picture. The entire page where I've had past photos, the entire page is deleting with the past photos. And it's like only holding current photos.
Well, okay. One, I would just double check in your Photos app on your phone that you are in the recents or again in the all photos. But if you still have challenges, um, I would say call Cyber Seniors if they're not helpful. But I know they will be, and just kind of trying to help explain what's going on and maybe them being able to see what's going on. I would let them know. I put their info in the chat, but it's also in the daily email. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm trying my best here. So I would just say you always just give yourself grace in a second when you do things on any device like my iPad or my phone or even my laptop. Just, give yourself a second and make sure, the things that you tap or the things that you do are the things that you meant to do. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
My pleasure. Again, daily email, check the chat for cyber seniors, and they can help with any device. That's why I share that info with Ms. Dina, because they don't just help with iPads, they help with Android devices, other devices, tech devices. So check the daily emails, check out cyber seniors for assistance with other devices. But if you have any kind of like iPhone or iPad questions, I am here to assist during most times, but Wednesdays, is our full day. So hopefully we could do more of this check-in probably 2 weeks from now in our next advanced training, but I may put this a little bit of this in our talk show next week. But hope you all learned something new. Check out the chat for that document for that check-in list for other things as well that you would like to check in on your device. But I'll see you all at 12 for our culinary journeys session for our first lunch club travel edition of 2026. See you all soon, and thank you so much.
See you,
Thank you.
Pat.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you all
Bye.
later.
My pleasure. See you
Be
at
safe.
12. Make sure you get your lunch. Get your lunch together.
Mhm.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Right.
Thank you.
1:30. Hope you
Bye.
enjoyed.
Oh, 12 o'clock, right?
12 o'clock, 1:30.